Okay, moment of truth. Cleaned the gas tank out, got all the rust out. Took about a day. Had a good amount of rust in there, especially up here on the top. I guess it would condensate on the inside and it would hang up here. And of course you get those tubes and stuff, so that was kind of hard. Of course, a bunch of nuts and bolts in there. I ended up using the Loctite Naval jelly. Looks like a pink ooze, like on Ghostbusters 2. Looks exactly like the gooey ooze. And poured 3 bottles in it because it moves really slow. It sticks, but I always use more than what it recommends. I wasted 1 bottle and that didn't do too good. So actually I used 1 bottle, couldn't really get it everywhere, let it do its thing, rinsed it. That didn't do much. So then I used the Cream, K-R-E-E-M tank sealer. It's a kit, has 3 different steps. First step is to pour the cleaner with 2 gallons of hot water. I'm not a big fan of any type of rust cleaner that requires water, but it did work, but I couldn't get it to stick up here even though I would rotate it. This gas cap didn't seal well, so I couldn't have it upside down. So I just had to slosh it every so often. So that didn't do very well. Did clean the bottom half great. Dumped it, rinsed it, went and got 3 bottles of the Naval jelly. Really went to town on that, let that set for a whole day. It says 5 to 10 minutes. I just let it do its thing. Cleaned that out. Then you use a prep bottle. It's a little bottle. That'll take the paint off. That one I had to really be careful. I just taped I took this off, put tape around the hole, got a bunch of paper towels, crammed them in there, and then put duct tape over it so it just pushed against that duct tape. And I did everything for the fuel pump area. Took the old fuel pump apart and just used the plate and the O-ring. Fill everything up, bolt it shut, sealed it, and then I could just do everything. Tank prep that. You gotta be real careful. I taped around here nozzles, made a funnel out of tape, so when I dumped that shit, it would just come out. It smells kind of like nail polish remover, but it will take paint right off. Let that come out, air dry it. I always use an electric leaf blower, dry it out, and then you get that cream liner. It's white, it's milky, it's not as thick as I would like it. You're supposed to coat it, let it sit for 10 minutes, or pop the top up, let it air out for 10 minutes, close it, rotate it, do your thing, pop it up, and just constantly do it. It takes forever. I should have used another brand I liked, but it's fine. It's not as thick, but you can recoat even if you put gas in it. I'm sure you just got to make sure you clean it out, and you can do another recoating. I may do that later on, but I've already spent way more cleaning this tank. But anyways, clean that out. Got the this is just a US bottle, non-Cali model, so it doesn't have a charcoal canister. So these 2 hook up here. Got the fuel pump in. New, basically a new fuel pump. It had like 8,000 miles on it. Got that hooked up, and got the pump plugged in, get the injectors in, plugged it up. It primes, but if you start it without that on, you hear the relays and stuff. See, it won't prime until you start it, so that's kind of a weird thing. Anyways, so primed it, wouldn't start. I mean, I cranked probably 6 times, 6-7 sessions. Alright, so I pulled this spark plug out. It's in okay condition. Put it back in, screw it, you know what. So the bad part about this setup is the injectors on the fuel rail, they don't have clips that hold them in. Oh, there it is right there. It just uses 2 screws and it holds the rail with the fuel injectors. Usually there's clips that hold the injectors to the fuel rails, then you bolt the fuel rail down. These don't, so what I was gonna do is get a bag, put it around the injector, hold the fuel injectors and start it. I tried it, but nothing was coming out, so I knew the injectors were clogged. So pulled the injectors out. All you do is you get a battery, 2 wires. If you don't have an external fuel pump, to put a hose to it so you can pressurize it and power it. Just hold it upright. They all have a little cone filter in there. Squirt a little carb cleaner in there, and just get a simple 12-volt battery, and just hold one wire, or get a plug itself, cut the wires and wire it up. But I didn't have the plug, and just a fuel injector is just a switch. It's either on, open, or it's closed off. And you just kind of tap it, and you'll hear it click, 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 click. If it's clicking, it's at least operating. And you just let that carb cleaner just go down, and it blew out some junk. It was real quiet clicks, and then once that carb cleaner got down there, you'll really hear it click. If you want them to click pretty loud like a typewriter, that means they're good. Got some funk out of both of them. Hooked it all back up, and we got a running bike. Looky there. I'm still gonna get new spark plugs. They're kind of funky. Change the oil. I'll need to change the oil. I'll change the antifreeze, because that's how that antifreeze. If this is a 13, that means it's manufactured in 12. So it's been in there since 2012. That's 8 years. So I'll go ahead and dump that. Do a good flush on the cooling system. Put some new, you want it, I think, glycol free or something like that. But usually that's just regular old Prestone. Just the good old green stuff. So she's idling. I'll have to see what I need to set the idle up by cold. Right now we're at right under 2,000. Let's give it a little. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So she still needs cleaning and stuff. So let me up that idle. And I may have to buy new injectors. You know, they could be just funk too bad. But they were holding pressure. Yeah, so she's gonna still need some work, but oopsie. And I wasn't getting very much spark on that one too, so that's another thing to have to look at. I may have flooded her. Well, shoot. At least she would idle. Okay, well anyways, she still needs work. So I will stop it there this weekend. I'll get working on her more. Hopefully I should have the fork seals in. I may try to get those fixed too while I'm at it. I'm just trying to get this damn thing running so I can get it inspected. So that's another thing. I should be able to get spark plugs in town tomorrow. I can at least get those. If I need new injectors, I'm gonna have to just order those, and that, or just get a whole throttle body and injectors off of eBay for like 60 bucks or something like that, and wait for that. So just kind of hearsay. Looked on the forum, some people were having crank sensors go out, and that's why they were having problems either just starting a bike. So that's one thing I'll need to check, is the crank sensor. Obviously it starts, so the knockdown sensor, which I believe is this right here, I'll have to double check, obviously is working because it wouldn't fire up. This is a relay box. I finally figured that out. I do have another computer. I can try another computer just for giggles. But yeah, I think one of the biggest problems is gonna be the fuel injectors, just because they sat so long and there was fuel in the fuel line and the rail It wasn't super funky or anything, but excuse me, with that ethanol and stuff, that's just bad stuff. And it probably wouldn't hurt to check the timing. I'll need to do that. I just wanted to try to get her fired up, and looks like it's gonna rain. Hopefully it doesn't hail, and well, we'll see what I can get done this weekend.